So Angel Reese has just set the double-double record for rookies. She has set the record for most consecutive double-doubles. And at the same time, Caitlin Clark has just set the record for most 15-5-5 games by a rookie. These are two incredibly good rookies. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about, has Angel Reese closed the gap as far as Rookie of the Year is concerned. Before we get on to it, though, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 9.7 thousand subscribers by the end of the day. And obviously, if you guys are interested in this game right here, I will be live streaming their rematch on Saturday or on Sunday. So unfortunately, I cannot stream the Caitlin Clark game tonight because I am at a wedding, hence why I could be very late on some information. These videos are going to be all recorded and released throughout the day. But when it comes to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, these are polar opposites as players, polar opposites as people, and on polar opposite teams. You have got the grit and grind Chicago Sky, who outside of Kennedy Carter and Marina Mabry don't have much offense, have the least offensive firepower in the league, and that includes a crippled Dallas team. But are a pretty good defensive team, and they will out-hustle a lot of teams. And then you've got a Fever team who have all the talent in the world, but have really been struggling with defense, with chemistry, with toughness at times, and they're a super, super young team. Like, the Chicago Sky have vets they've got young players in Cardoso and Reese, but they've got a lot of vets. And also, when you're the Chicago Sky, you can't tank. Like, every loss is awful for Chicago because you don't even have your draft pick. Like, you don't have your draft pick. If you get the one pick, it goes to Dallas. Dallas have a pick swap in the Mabry trade. So, if the Fever lose a couple of games in the Chicago Sky, I think whichever one of these teams, I think best case scenario for either of these teams, the 7 seed and losing the first round of the playoffs. So, if either of these teams end up getting into the playoffs and scraping into the playoffs, they're going to lose first round. But if you're the Chicago Sky, you would rather make the playoffs anyway because you don't get your pick. But if the Indiana Fever don't make the playoffs, there's a high likelihood that they're going to have the best odds at the 1 pick and potentially getting Paige Beckers. And if you can put Paige Beckers with, if you can replace Christy Wallace with Paige Beckers, this is a top 5 team in the WNBA with the players that they have right now. So, I'm going to be talking a bit about how they're doing as rookies, and these have pulled away at 1 and 2. I've watched Aliyah Edwards. Aliyah Edwards has been good. Rickea Jackson has had some good games, some bad games, but a lot of the time, we're looking at Rickea Jackson as potentially a really good rookie. We're looking at Aliyah Edwards as a really good player, and these are going to be good players. Heck, JC Sheldon's stepping up recently. Cardoso, I don't know so much. She's big. She'll figure it out. This is a very, very good rookie class. And of the first round picks that are getting burned, they're all good. Peely, maybe, I don't know how I feel about her. But other than that, every first round pick that has seen the floor is good, is a good player. But when we're looking at how they've done, so when it's Angel Reese, I'm not even going to talk about numbers at the end of the day because I think numbers sometimes don't tell the whole story. Angel Reese is leading the WNBA or in offensive rebounds. Will probably end the season leading the WNBA in rebounds. She's one of the better defenders in the league. She's going to be, her and Clark are both going to be in and around the same in steals. And what Angel Reese brings is something that not many players in this league bring. She brings almost like a mixture between a Joakim Noah and a Dennis Rodman. I don't like the Dennis Rodman comparison because I think she's a better offensive player respective to the two leagues than Dennis Rodman was. That's what you're getting with Angel Reese, and she's already that right now. But Angel Reese, as far as offensive skill, there's none. There is no offensive skill when it comes to Angel Reese. And again, that's not a knock on her. That's basically, and I'm just saying, if she develops any sort of game, she's going to be, not only when I say a problem, I mean she's going to potentially be one of the best players in this league. Because she's already elite without a go-to move, without elite footwork, and then she did this in the game yesterday. I don't even know what to call that. I genuinely don't even know what to call that. A quadruple dribble? But even with that, Genuinely, even with that, Angel Reese is one of the most productive rookies, and you can argue that her productivity level is on an equivalent to a Caitlin Clark so far. And when we're looking 2 to 3 years down the line, because I think that's what it'll probably take for Angel Reese to develop any sort of a mid-range shot. I'm not going to confidently say that Angel Reese will not end up being better than Caitlin Clark, because how good she rebounds, how good she defends, and how good her instincts are, that I'm not going to say a player just won't develop an offensive game. And if she develops the offensive game, she could be ahead. But the standout rookie is Caitlin Clark. She's just better. Like, Caitlin Clark has hit twice as many shots from longer than 30 feet as Angel Reese has made this season from outside 4 feet. And Caitlin Clark shoots a better percentage from 30 feet than Angel Reese does from outside the paint. But Angel Reese is getting better as far as field goal percentage goes. She shot over 50% 3 times this year. And like, she's making some open layups. She gets some steals. She gets some leak outs. To be fair, so does Caitlin Clark. On the defensive end, Caitlin Clark is not as bad at guarding ball as you would think. She is garbage at guarding screens. She's terrible at running around screens. Like, she doesn't know how to not get caught on screens. She doesn't know how to go under screens. She doesn't know how to switch. She doesn't seem to switch in a proper way. She just gets hit by the screen off ball every single time. So that's where Caitlin Clark's real deficiency is on defense. But she's a very good weak side help defend, or a very good weak side shot blocker for a guard. She's a very good... she's got quick hands, not quite as quick as Angel Reese's hands, but she's got really, really quick hands too, and is the best rebounding guard probably in the WNBA. As far as passing goes and being a primary point guard, there aren't many of them in the WNBA. There's Chelsea Gray and Natasha Cloud from what I've seen. I think she's more of a scorer than Cloud. I don't think her all-around game is as good as Gray's when Gray's healthy, but I would say as far as true point guards go, and not just a shooting guard playing point guard, I think Caitlin Clark is one of the 3 or 4 best in the WNBA. I think her ability to shoot the ball when she starts hitting more, which she will, like, she's getting looks that she was hitting in college, and it'll take her a while to adjust. And I think the big problem is that she's a rhythm shooter, as I've said, is that in college she was able to shoot whatever she wanted, and she would go off and hit a couple in a row, just like she did against the Mystics, whereas now she has to kind of pick her shots. She's not going to be able to shoot every time she touches it. So I think once she gets used to that, the shooting will come back, maybe not the 40%, but like, look, 40% from 3 on the shots she's taking, WNBA just isn't going to happen. If you're looking at the percentages of what like Sabrina's shooting, if you're looking at the percentages of what Kelsey Plum is shooting, they're not particularly great either. Like, Caitlin Clark has a better effective field goal percentage than Kelsey Plum, way better than she's way better than Jewel Lloyd, and tied with Diana Taurasi for that. So I just think as far as, it's a league where it's harder for guards to come in, and Caitlin Clark is coming in and doing stuff that no guard has ever done in the history. 2 double-doubles in her rookie year. No guard has done that since 2007. I think, as far as these rookies are concerned, I think right now there is a gap. I think, funnily enough, I think in the Rookie of the Year race, right now Caitlin Clark is pulling away. She's pulling away. But at the same time, Angel Reese is pulling away from the rest. Like, I still think there's a gap between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but I think what Angel Reese is doing is now making it so that there are only 2 rookies that matter in this race. Like, people have been talking about Cardoso when she was coming back from injury. People were talking about Rickea Jackson. People were talking about Alia Edwards. And I think that any list that does not have Caitlin Clark 1, Angel Reese 2 right now is wrong. If Caitlin Clark drops 3 stinkers in a row and Angel Reese continues to play consistently, then I can see that going neck and neck. And it really is just a case of, do you credit consistency, or do you credit like who has had the better games? The better games have been from Caitlin Clark. The consistency has been from Angel Reese. However, Caitlin Clark has had, like, Caitlin Clark's last two games against the Sky. Her game against the Sky is better than any game Reese played, including against the Sun. Her game against the Mystics was better. Her game against the Sky, her game against the Mystics, and her game against the who had they beaten the last game? The Mystics again. Both Mystics games have been better. Have been the 3 best games, in my opinion, of a rookie this year. So maybe I just have a different criteria, but I think there is a bit of a gap right now between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But at the same time, Caitlin Clark has had a lot more bad games than Reese. Reese is going to average a double-double, and if Caitlin Clark goes through a bad patch of form, which we know can happen, and Angel Reese still continues to play consistently, then yeah, I don't think it's a done deal, this race, but I would say there is a bit of a gap, and I think right now Caitlin Clark is in the lead. But I do think what all Angel Reese has shown in the last while is that there is only two players that matter in this race, and it's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And Angel Reese is playing so well that if Caitlin Clark has any sort of a dip in performance, Angel Reese could end up taking that Rookie of the Year.